me, your honorable sensei, and across from me,
the vicious scumbag.
And we are the Longturnlarry podcast. And I'm seeing red.
Ooh, you know what it is.
I'm seeing red. I had a bad day, and I'm gonna take it out on somebody.
How bad was it?
I got my belt loop stuck in a doorknob, not a handle.
Ooh.
And almost broke the door down.
Say no more. I can feel it.
I can feel it humming in the air tonight. Oh, Lord.
Yes. Copyright.
Copyright. No monetization.
Welcome to the Longturnlarry podcast.
How's it taste, mother?
That's
you
right.
smell what the Rock is cooking?
Ooh.
Because he's cooking with red, and I need some cards in my hand.
Card draw. Part of the series. Thanks for tuning back in. We were talking about Red Ramp, or the lack thereof it. Got that fake get rich quick cocaine mana. What we got today?
We got that get rich, not quick, government card draw.
It is definite government card draw.
Yeah, unless you're a billionaire, you're not getting a lot of it.
Nope.
How you want to start this? Who you want to start there with?
I think, like all good red, we should start with its main concept, exiling.
Ooh.
The exiled one.
Because that's a keystone to red. Back in the Dizzle, you ain't getting no card draw, cuh.
Nope.
You ain't getting not none of that. Now, it could go into exile, and you could get that back.
Best do it quick, though.
Sometimes you got to commune with lava. Pour the lava crunk. This is an X spell, red instant.
Right now.
Exile the top X cards of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play those cards.
This is going to be a theme. This is a theme. Red's always like, you gonna use it?
You gonna
use it right
It
now?
used to be, you gotta use it this turn.
Yes.
Wizards has been ever so graceful. Now we have not only is it till this turn, it's till the end of our next turn.
It's good and it's nice, but if you're not set up for it, be careful. You just exiled however many you went deep.
Yeah, if you got a 9-drop and you got 3 mana exile, you ain't getting that back.
The beauty, though, this one does say play those cards. It doesn't say cast, so it does let you commune with the lava, so you get your mountains.
Yep, because one thing that I hate about things that say curse and not play is not getting my land drops.
Yeah, and not only that, you exiled them. Those are gone.
I don't know if you get them back,
Never. Ooh,
But at least you got another turn to do it.
Shout out to the previous episode. We got Berkey. Berkey's still here.
Wait, what is she doing here? Her front side don't say nothing about exiling.
Wait a second. You mean to tell me it's a twin card? We got Harfell Horn of Bounty. 4 colorless and a red for a legendary artifact. Bet you didn't see this coming. Discard a card, red. Exile the top 2 cards of your library, red. You may play those cards this turn. Again.
This card leveraged correctly, will win you the game.
Because it's not a tap effect, and if you do it right, you can keep refilling.
If you have a lot of other card drawing effects, man, this really sort of breaks itself.
Yeah, very quickly. Very quickly. And on top of all these other cards that we're going to go through, you're going to see Red's got a couple of things it does all the time. 1, you're going to gamble. 2, you're going to exile. And 3,
you're going to put that card in the discard pile.
Yes, you are. You have to do that first, most of the time. Some of them let you get away with it.
Some let me like, come on, dog. Come on, let me draw them cards. No.
I just need an extension. Just let me get 2 cards for the turn.
Talking about a card that we already talked about. There's this girl named Jessica.
What you saying? What you saying, huh? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Jeez.
Ugh, I hate her attorneys. I keep hearing about her will.
Man, again, choose one. If you control a commander as you cast a spell, you may choose both. Add red for each card in target opponent's hand. You know Billy, he be holding them cards in his hand. And exile the top 3 cards to your library. You may play them this turn.
There it is. There's the, I hope you were ready for it. Jessica's at least gives you both, right? I'm giving you your fake get rich quick scheme red, and hopefully those 3 cards you got, you're gonna use.
Only if you're at the top of the pyramid with your commander.
All hail the seeing red eye.
All hail Atali Primal Storm.
Oh yeah. If we're gonna talk about exiling the top card, we can't go without mentioning this beautiful girl.
Oh my god.
She is a 4 colorless red for Atali Primal Storm, legendary creature, elder dinosaur, 6/6. That alone makes me happy. It's a big red dinosaur.
And she old. Mm-hmm. Respect your elders.
Yep. You had said this before. Atali got a 401k. She earned it. She got pension. She got that Cobalt pension plan.
Mm-hmm. She worked a long time. Too bad she dead.
Yeah, she did. Dead as hell. Whenever Atali Primal Storm attacks, exile a top card of each player's library. Then you may cast any number of spells from among them, those cards without paying their mana costs.
Be careful. Casting Atali without no haste, she is liable to disappear.
Yeah. Quick removal.
Extinction.
Easily worth it.
Nobody wants to see you cast the top card of their library.
Especially if they needed it. And you know that's how it works.
That's how it always works.
It can never just be, oh, you took my soul ring. It's okay. It's always, oh, I also would have loved to have an Ulamog.
I had exactly 13 mana to cast that.
It's a shame that I played him for free.
It's a shame that I went to Walmart and got a nice deal. Like Walmart in 97.
Where they had the smiley faces and rollbacks on everything.
Right. But they actually had like 2-for-1s.
Real deals?
It wasn't just like cheap prices every day. No, you wasn't get cheap prices every day, but when you went and got them cheap prices, they were cheap.
It was cheap. Shout out to the boomers who freaked out because they said it was evil.
Still evil.
It is. It's bulk evil.
Mm-hmm. Amazon took that over though.
They did. It's a shame. It's almost like he's trying to be the Moria Marauder. I see Bezos as being a goblin. He feels
with a crooked eye.
Yeah, he
bald
definitely.
head, crooked eye goblin.
He got a whole bunch of cronies with him that think they're going to be Goblin King too.
No, but you just end up dying on the factory line.
No. They're taking an extended break. That's unpaid. We got the Moria Marauders, red for a 1/1 Goblin Warrior double strike. I am super happy about this card. I love Goblin upgrades. Gobble.
Govern.
And I love this edition of Orc. I do love that with the Lord of the Rings set. So whenever a Goblin or Orc you control deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. This is a more fair Goblin Instigator.
This is not fair. Do you know how many goblins you're about to get hit by?
Easily. Oh, I know, and it's whenever I know. It's beautiful. I think it's a little gorgeous thing.
This is going to exile a tenth of their library.
Easily.
Easy.
Yeah. And then if you have, shout out to the previous episode, Skirt Prospector out and a haste enabler, I mean, there you go. I'm going to probably dump all of those cards.
I don't like it.
I think it's beautiful, but I'm going to get routed next turn. It's exactly what's coming.
Talking about orcs. There's this cool little thing we like to do.
I didn't know what you were going to say, and I see it. Exactly.
So he initially only had one card.
Oh my god.
And the backside never did anything.
Nope.
But Plarg, like Plarg.
Plarg.
Does it sound rude? Does it sound violent?
We made Plarg a verb.
Yeah, because you're going to get Plarged.
What the hell is even that?
And you're not Plarg.
I hope you imagine the worst sound effects.
The worst.
Plarging is not a recreational activity that you enjoy.
And that hole that he created was not one that was there before.
You just got Plarged.
Yeah, you just got Plarged and there's nothing you could do about it. So, there's also another person, and Nasari, she's like a genie. Who cares? It's all about Plarg.
It's all about the Plarg, baby.
3 colors, 2 red for a 5/4 legendary Orc Ifrit. That's a genie. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card. An opponent chooses a non-land card exiled this way. You may cast up to 2 spells from among the other cards exiled this way without paying a mana cost. This is upkeep Atali, but your friend's like, no, you can't have the best thing.
But this doesn't require like attacking. It just happens.
It just happens.
Yep, it just happens. That's the part that the Plarg is inevitable, but the cards are forever.
The cards are forever. You're going to get Plarged.
Every Plarg begins with...
You're going to get Plarged. He's going to steal your shit, and there's nothing you can do about it unless you're the one person that got picked.
Or you could make a scummy deal with the person who's going to clearly let you pick the worst thing. Because you don't have to cast everyone's stuff. It only says 2. If you have a play group and all 4 players are still alive, there you go. You don't have to pick their thing.
Nah, you know what? I mean, I think it's exiled regardless. You ain't getting it back. Once Plarg takes your shit, like Debo, you ain't getting it back. That's my grandmama gave me this chain. Don't care.
Our chain.
Our. So she's the story that you sing the love. Russians are pissed off right now because I definitely destroyed their anthem.
It's okay. Someone will listen to our podcast and be like, yes, cheeseburger.
We're getting real creative.
Always. On the same theme of we like to exile a top card of our library, and we love goblins. We have Rundevelt Hordemaster, a colorless red goblin warrior. He is a lord. Other goblins get +1/+1. He is a 1/1. Dare I say more, he's already beautiful. But what's this? Whenever him or another goblin you control dies, exile a top card of your library. If it's a goblin creature card, you may cast that card until the end of your next turn. This one's a little more focused, but it's still gonna do the same effect as Moria Marauder. I understand why Moria is definitely more overpowered because it doesn't require that goblin constraint, but we're still playing fast. This is like fast card draw.
So what you're telling me is Moria Marauder is Jeff Bezos. Rundevelt Hordemaster, it's like a tier 3. Like, he's not working on the floor, and if he does die, we will get something, but,
Yes.
you know, you can let all the other ones die first.
Yes, exactly. This supply chain will continue by exiling and eating our own workers. Yes.
We're going to get that 2-day packaging.
Hey, and no one's going to share the spoils with you.
Ooh, you know, Share the Spoils is a card that I love to cast. You know what, dude? It's 1 in the red for an enchantment. Whenever Share the Spoils enters the battlefield or an opponent loses the game,
Oh.
I've never seen that happen, exile the top card of each player's library. During each player's turn, that player may play a land or cast a spell from among cards exiled with Share the Spoils. And they may spend mana as the word mana of any color to cast that spell. Whenever they do, exile the top card of their library. You know what this says?
It's free real estate.
What does it say?
You think we're sharing?
No, we're not.
I'm really taking your shit.
Yep. Oh, 100%. We talked about fast, quick mana before. This screams, it comes in. Oh, would you look at that? Oh, and then you're just dumping 16.
Oh man,
fake
every
generated.
time I cast something from exile, I'm getting rebates,
Yep.
which allows me to exile more stuff on the top of I'm just exiling stuff on the top of my deck and casting your spells. Because typically when you pass the spoils around, nobody uses it. Except for you.
Yeah, because they had other agendas. And now this is almost, what's funny is they're going to exile something that they don't want you to play. And now you have the ability to be like, oh yeah, I see that combo piece.
Oh, thank you.
that
Oh,
thought-
you didn't have enough mana to cast that on this turn? Oh, you better hope nobody else decides to cast it.
That Thopter assembly. Ooh.
Or, you know, if you run a lot of removal,
Oh man, yes. Free removal for the board.
please. You know what, friend? I can't cast that right now. But I bet you can.
But what's in it for me? Continued exiling.
Who we going to talk about next? I was talking about being creative. I think you should check the technique. It's 4 colorless and a red for a sorcery. Demonstrate the whole, let me say this, the whole demonstrate cycle. I've actually only seen 2 of these cards. The other 3 might be garbage, but the black one, the red one are OD. Demonstrate whenever you cast this spell, you may copy it. If you do, choose an opponent to also copy it. Oh.
Wait, me?
So it's like a 2-for-1 deal. This is that Walmart 2-for-1 deal.
Easy.
Shuffle your library, then reveal cards from the top of it until you reveal a non-land card. Exile that card and put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. No one ever does that. They just go, wham.
Yep. Me no care.
Me no care about bottom. You may cast the exile card without paying its mana cost. So you're spending 5 mana to get 2 things.
Yep.
and one of your homies get one thing.
And again, we always say this, these cards are busted in the right context. So when you're running this, you should be running some big spells. There should be something big that this can easily or possibly hit.
You know, you give the other one to the token player. What's he gonna do? Make a token? I don't care.
Oh no.
Let's put a Ulamog out.
Yeah, exactly. You're using this to hit something that is well over 4 mana. This is gonna pay for itself, hopefully. That's the goal here.
And if it don't, what you doing?
Luckily, this one says until you reveal, instead of it giving you a finite dig. I'm happy that it continues to go in.
Imagine building a deck with 4 spells and this being one of them.
The rest are just lands.
You know what? I'm not gonna stop until
You know what's coming, don't you?
one of your spells is a tutor.
Yep.
The other one's this card, and the other 2 spells are like Eldrazi.
No, it's World Fire. it's World Fire and then Whiplash. That way you can just go and kill everybody. That's what it is.
Dead.
Yep, everyone's
ya.
dead. No, it's just 2 copies of Fling.
There's another goblin on this list.
Oh, I imagined there to be. He is Grenzo the Havoc Raiser. This guy actually, in my opinion, looked more like an orc to me when I first saw the card. I was surprised he's a thick goblin.
I'm surprised his name's not Grenzo the Hellraiser.
He's beautiful. Red Goblin Rogue Legendary Creature 2/2. Already off to a good start. Whenever a creature you control, here we go again, deals combat damage to a player, choose one. Either goad target creature that player controls, or exile the top card of that player's library until in a turn you may cast that card and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color. Why are you giving goblins the ability to steal more things? This boy, wow, wait, whoa, he jumped up in price.
He $22.
He is. I have personally played him in my, as much as it's sponsored and brought to you by Goblins, I have used him a bunch. And you know what's funny? For the longest, I was using the goad effect. I love goading.
Wait, you get angry and attack someone else so you can't attack Goblin and leave yourself open for a Goblin?
Sound like great deal.
Sounded like best deal.
Best. But what are goblins afraid of?
Big creatures?
Dragons.
Psych.
They are afraid of dragons.
They ain't afraid. They're willing fodder.
They respect them. You know a dragon they don't respect?
Which one?
Chisgoria Forge Titan. Forge Tyrant. Tyrant Forge Goria Chis.
Four score?
And 7 affinities.
6 affinities.
This is a 6 red 5/4 dragon. Affinity for artifacts, flying, haste. And whenever Chisgoria Forge Tyrant attacks, exile top 5 cards of your library. You may cast an artifact spell from among them this turn. If you do, it has affinity for artifacts. This is red making you work for it again. It can't just say, whenever it attacks, draw 5 cards.
But if you're running enough artifacts that you were able to, I don't know, affinity for artifacts is out for red. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure that spell is free.
Yeah, and it's got haste. This bad boy got Stache.
This just, I keep saying this. This just screams free Eldrazi to me.
And so you're pretty much digging for mana rocks and
free mana rocks.
Yep, free mana rocks, and then dumping this thing out, possibly like turn 4, turn 3, if you're doing it right, and then beating somebody up and then rushing out your big nasty colorless friends.
Oh man, I'm gonna kill your commander. I don't care. I have 12 artifacts.
Yeah, red does love its artifact and discarding them too.
Oh, it's sort of like a trend. What are treasures but artifacts?
Wait.
You know what? I'm tired of talking about these exile cards. I'm trying to wheel and deal, okay?
Wheeler dealer.
Wheel and deal. We're going to talk about the card that should not be almost $300 and represents a whole archetype in Magic. Wheel of Fortune. Where's Pat Sajak when you need him?
Daniel Gellion, how dare you?
You son of a bitch. It's 2 colors and a red for sorcery. All players must discard their hand and draw 7 new ones.
Now, you may be thinking to yourself, why is that $279? Aren't there cards that do the exact same thing and have almost the exact same wording?
But Wizards made a deal to these losers back in the 90s, be like, oh, we're never going to reprint these cards so they hold their value, so you can never sell these cards and they can stay in your collection for 30 years, and then when you die and your kids find your dirty, dusty Magic collection, and we're like, oh, what do we could do with this? And, oh, God, I have $10,000 in Magic cards.
Well, what color's your baguette?
Too bad I used Wheel of Fortune as a beer coaster.
I'm going to proxy Wheel of Fortune, and to make sure there are more Wheel of Fortunes than there are guns in America.
You just keep sneaking into like Office Max and like Office Depot and just having them print these. Go to local game stores and slip them in the back.
I'm so sick of this staple
Yeah.
card archetype of wheels.
Yeah, wheeling is not new. It has been around. Wheel of Fortune as I think the oldest one, but in general though, we've had so many reprints, quote unquote reprints. Why don't you tell them about your favorite card? It's on this list. This is Honorable Sensei's favorite sorcery.
Wait, which one is it?
It's the Wheel of Misfortune.
Oh my God, I hate.
You would think.
I have come to a consensus with this card.
Okay.
This is how this works.
Lay it on me.
Wheel of Misfortune. I am not going to read the text. I am not going to read it. This is how this card works. Everybody secretly chooses a number. You reveal that number.
8.
The person who chooses the most takes that damage. The person who chooses the lowest takes no damage and does not wheel. The people who were not the lowest and the person who took damage all wheel.
So you mean this is just a Wheel of Fortune with damage?
With extra with
You know the last
I
time
had to go to college to figure out what this card does.
the last time we talked about this, shout out to the previous episodes. The last time we talked about this, I still stand by this. This card has to be, because it's a sorcery, so it's on your turn, and you have to say, okay, hear me out.
Hear me out. Even though I told you exactly what this card does, I have not even looked at the card yet.
It's horrible.
There are going to be arguments about what this card does.
Oh yeah,
Reading the text of the card does not decipher the Phyrexian text that is on this card. Because it's in Phyrexian.
Ding bong, ding dong, he's Stone Cold
Which one is this?
No,
The Wheel
of Misfortune
is in Phyrexian.
is in Phyrexian.
It's not English. It's not. You know what it really just says? Each player. I don't know what frag hands sound like, but I'm assuming it's metal clicks and screeches.
That's actually correct.
Thank you. In the thoughts of wheeling
In the beginning.
in the beginning, in the thoughts of we should just keep wheeling, we have Winds of Change. I feel like this is an overlooked card. I don't know why it's not more expensive, but I feel like it should. For a red, each player shuffles his or her hand into his library and draws a new hand of as many cards as he or she had before. This is a Wheel of Fortune, but they don't get a full grip for free.
But you don't either. And that's the problem with red.
Yes, it is.
You done discarded so many cards. And the great thing about a wheel is, turn 1, land, soul ring, mana crit, some type of other mana positive rock that taps for red.
Yeah.
Wheel of Fortune. I just got a full hand.
Yeah, and I have all this to keep me ahead.
What did it do? You gonna discard 2 cards.
But for just red, though.
You gonna discard 2 cards and get 2 cards back.
Hey, that's still efficient. Winds of Change isn't bad, but agreed, it needs to be set up correctly. It does. It's not the same as the rest of these wheels.
And most of them are bad.
Yeah, they are.
Wheelie.
Wheelie bad? That was wheelie bad.
What's the next one?
We might as well talk about Magus, since we talked about his wheel.
Oh my god, I hate this guy.
Yep, look at him. He's like offering it to you like, look, Wizards hasn't reprinted me.
Look, I'm like a Wheel of Fortune. You know what? It would have been okay if he had haste.
It also would be okay if it was just tap sacrifice. Why do I have to pay? And it's not even haste enabled.
Because he's a middleman. He's got to get a little piece of the pie.
Ugh. For those of you who don't know this cheap knockoff, it's 2 colorless and a red for Magus of the Wheel, a human wizard 3/3. That is a colorless and a red. Tap, sacrifice him, and each player discards his or her hand and draws 7. It's Wheel of Fortune on a body in a really, really bad way. They could have made this thing so much more efficient.
Some people, we bringing up Walmart a lot. Some people say this is Walmart brand.
Walmart of the Wheel.
This isn't. This is like Food Lion.
Oh my goodness.
This is like Winn-Dixie in 2030. We're not even there yet.
Bro, this is Blockbuster currently.
Oh my. This is Netflix in the future.
Ooh, we're coming for the head.
We're
next.
coming. You're gonna pay $20 for 2 people to watch the same show you could have watched 2 years ago.
And if you're not both watching at the same time on different devices in 2 separate countries, we're gonna make you pay a subscription fee again.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
Let's talk about another creature smashed in with a wheel effect. This is actually a combo card our friend Lewis used to use to do like infinite wheeling and like summon dragons.
Yep.
This card's bad. It's 5 colorless, 2 red, dragon mage. He's a dragon wizard. 2 things that should not be attached.
Nope.
You can't have smart dragons out here. Start reading books. I don't like it. It's flying, of course, because it's a dragon. Whenever a dragon mage deals combat damage to a player, each player discards their hands and draws 7.
Yes, it's huge and strong and breathes fire, but we're smart. Yeah, that was Tadith the Wise's last words. I agree with you. The phrase dragon wizard is very scary to me. That is also the entire plot line of Skyrim. If you guys don't know, it's a bunch of dragon wizards because they all technically talk, and we just thought they were going, Dragon Wizard, agreed. It's not good. It's, again, This is a 7-drop 5/5 that has to hit, that doesn't hit on the turn it came out.
And he ain't got trample.
No. And he has to deal damage. He doesn't even say on attack. Like, just please give us more wheels that are actual wheels.
They don't. Every card that might benefit you from wheeling, they want to ban.
Yep. It hurts me down to my bones.
Okay, let's talk about a card that's not as bad. We're going to talk about the best card. This one's like not as bad.
Ooh. Can I guess?
Which one is it?
It's a toss-up. It's either Valakut or Reforge.
It's Reforge the Soul. You know what? 3 colorless red wheel.
There it is. They finally gave it.
You know what? You're gonna pay a premium. At least you don't have to wait a turn with Magus as the wheel.
Yep.
But you just get the effect. And guess what? We're gonna staple Miracle on top of this. So if you top deck this card, you're gonna wheel. Even though you're in red, you can't manipulate the top card of your deck at all. You're gonna exile it.
This is a pleasant surprise. That's what this would be. For the mono red player out there, this is like,
This is actually a miracle.
It is. It is.
If you're playing goblins and you just got board wiped, you got 3 lands.
You definitely need to reforge your soul.
Oh my goodness, just bring back all the homies.
Who cares if I'm discarding this non-existent hand? Give me a full grip.
Right. Now let's talk about the best card that can wheel, and it's just you, but it's positive. Valakut Awakening. It's a land, or is it an instant spell? Put any number of cards from your hand on the bottom of your library and then draw that many cards. +1. So it replaces itself.
Yes. I felt like this, in theory, would be the #1 slot. Only because, 1, red doesn't get to ramp. It's hard to ramp. So this can be a land. Already, the fact that it can be a land makes me so happy. The second part, these aren't discarded. That's the other beauty of these. These aren't discarded. This isn't a true wheel, technically, because we just tuck them and then we go draw that many. Plus, like you said, plus I feel like this is one of my more favorite ones. I'm surprised that it is, well, I know why. It's the same concept you said before. It's not guaranteeing us that 7. So like if we played this and you only had 2 cards, well,
You end up with, you started with 3, you got 3 if you discard them all.
yeah. Could be perfect. Gotta use it correct though.
Let's talk about, we like discarding our hand and maybe getting something out of it. We got 2 categories. Gambling.
Ooh, how much is it? Can I win it?
These cards might be bad or they might be good, but they're probably bad.
If you play them right, they're still bad.
Aggressive mining.
Yes, aggressive. The children yearn for the mine.
The children yearn for the mines. As somebody who doesn't have children, I wouldn't know.
And then the other side of it, I have nothing to lose. I have nothing to lose category is beautiful as well.
Because if you have something to lose, you're playing these cards wrong.
Yeah, you have to think about it from that mindset.
Right, and that's why we're gambling. So, aggressive mining, it's an enchantment. 3 colorless and a red. You can't play lands.
Off to a great start.
Sacrifice a land.
Even better.
Draw 2 cards. Activate this card only once each turn.
Designed by Marcus Pearson. I feel like you're saying this is a huge gamble. Huge gamble. But there are ways to get around this, and I am mad I'm not running this in my Tusken Raider land destruction deck.
No.
I am mad I'm not playing this. Because this would really just translate into sacrifice a desert, draw 2 cards.
Right. You know, you can't play any more land.
Yeah, but you can cheat them.
You could cheat them into play.
But doesn't this leave you wanting, almost like you're asking for something with like a burning inquiry?
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
This card had me just dying laughing. I need you guys. See, this is where I have to tell you that you should be on Moxfield.com looking at the Longturnlarry episodes.
LTL.
So you can see the cards while we're talking about them. The artwork on Burning Inquiry is flawless. This man does not care that he is going to die. This knowledge is needed.
See, this is what happens when you read manga. This is exactly what happens. You burn alive for your transgressions against Christ.
Burning Inquiry for a red sorcery. Each player draws 3 cards. That's odd. Then discards 3 cards at random. This is so chaotic. I adore it. I adore this card. I'm surprised that it's not more expensive. I think it's the at random part that
because only people who cast this are madmen, and even crazier men copy this like 5 times. You ain't gonna have any idea what your hand gonna look like after this resolves.
Enjoy the chaos. This is how red gets its card draw. This is what you wanted.
It's not even card advantage.
No, it's not. What's funny is not a lot of these are technically card advantage. They're really not.
This show ain't.
This is gambling. This is 100% gambling. And what's funny is the payoff is breaking even.
The payoff is watching your friends cry as their favorite spells that they're going to cast next turn
Yep.
are tossed in the garbage.
They're like, oh, look what I got to draw. Nice. Please don't pick that. Please don't pick that.
I'm really trying to get us demonetized.
Yes. For just 50 cents a day.
You're the goblin guy.
Oh, I love my gobos.
Can you take the next card?
I would love to talk about some lore with goblins. Speaking of goblin lore, a colorless and a red for draw 4 cards and put them into your hand. At the surface, beautiful. Then discard 3 cards at random. There it is. Wait, technically that is card advantage. You only had to,
I think you break exactly even.
You do, because you're spending this card to do it.
I just want to read the flavor text.
Oh, hit it.
I done forgot more than you'll ever know, Pipsqueak. Yeah, that's your problem.
I think the United States definitely keeps goblin lore at the core.
See, this is what you do, man. This is exactly what you do. You forget half your history and throw the good parts away.
What? You don't mean to tell me that the victors write history and that we're just living in them?
Goblins.
Oh, yeah, the goblins. The goblins told me to say it.
The gobbies.
So those are your gobbo gambling, aggressive mining.
You're gambling.
You are gambling. There is no trade-off here. You know what goblins think about gambling? It's not gambling. It's, hey, that guy lived. Great. The rest fell off the mountain, but that one lived.
Yeah,
so
the house always wins.
House
And
always wins.
No one knows who the house is.
Not even the goblin kings. See how that's plural? They're not unified.
So, I have nothing to lose. This is called I have nothing to lose because you didn't have anything in your hand to begin with. Because if you did, you wouldn't be casting this card.
Planned impotence.
This is Bo. Bo? Is that the name of the Paul Bunyan's ox? Wasn't it Bo?
It is now.
Goblin lore.
Yep, see, there it is.
Ox of Aganos. 3 colors, red. For a 4/2 ox. Whenever Ox of Aganos enters the battlefield, discard your hand. Then draw 3 cards. You can escape it for 2 red and exile 8 other cards from your graveyard. Ox of Aganos escapes with a singular +1/+1 counter.
If you are playing this ox and you have more than 4 cards in your hand, I do not know what's wrong, but you need help. Goblin help.
You need to have 0 cards in your hand. This is like card advantage?
Exactly. You have to know you're gonna burn them all, and then you're gonna play something like this. And also, too, for those of you, I used to have this thought process to where I read an escape cost, and I'm like, ew, I have to exile cards from my graveyard. Playing mono red as long as I have never returned anything from my graveyard. So the escape cost pretty much just means, hey, this ox gets to come back. That's all it really is.
And then it draws you 3 cards.
Trade-off is I bet on it with no in hand. I love the I have nothing to lose section. I feel like people don't use wheels correctly because I feel like
these ain't wheels.
They're not. But the same concept applies. Those wheels that give you a full grip, you play it and it's the last card you had in hand. Insane.
All right. You want to take our next one?
Oh, I would love to. I would love to bring to you the Devil Horror, the Bedlam Reveler. 6 colorless red. It's expensive for a 3/4 Devil Horror. But here it is. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard. This is more of a Red Burns flavor boy. It's got prowess. There it is. I love spells. And then when it enters the battlefield, discard your hand, then draw 3 cards.
As somebody who loves the storm,
Yes, you do. And you love that red. That's your red, to say the least.
I'm a stormer. This is what you use this for. You done cast like 8 spells. You thought you ran out of gas.
And then this thing is only going to cost you red.
All right. If you're ever casting this for more than red, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, that's not good.
When you're a storm deck, the things being in your graveyard is just like extra fuel to burn. It's like fossil fuels.
Quick shout out to another red concept that we're not really referencing here because it's not on theme. Red loves to copy things. It adores copying spells.
Not as much as blue.
But it does do it though. And then the other side of red that also loves this whole thing is it loves to do flashbacks as well. So there are a lot of red things you can be casting from the graveyard, so you're getting a 2-for-1 special on that Bedlam Reveler.
Let's talk about the worst card.
Poor thing.
Man,
on the surface, it's not bad. You can work around it. It's Avaricious Dragon. 2 colorless red dragon flying 4/4. That's honestly not bad. 4 for 4. Wendy's menu. At the beginning of your draw step. I know, right? Damn inflation. At the beginning of your draw step, draw an additional card. If this did not continue, this thing would be top tier. A 4/4 flying body.
Continue it.
I know. At the beginning of your end step, discard your hand.
So, you know what this is like?
Go low
You
and fast.
welcomed Jin Kataxis in your home.
Oh yeah, like that's your roommate He's always coming home.
And he's sleeping in your bed.
Every night.
And he like, I'm gonna give you one more extra card.
Oh, that's so nice. Now discard your hand.
Imagine the scenario where you played this, had several cards in hand, and then this gets blown up.
See, I feel like this should have had
Flash.
Yes. That was my exact thought process. This should have had flash flying. And that way you could be able to try to set yourself up with it instead of it being it's got a lot of negatives, not a lot of positives. It's not like some of these other ones that they just give you so much. It's just straight up card draw?
Wait, red does that?
We'll start off with a simple one. We got, if you don't know, these are called cantrips. These are normally a mana for a spell, and it normally does something and draws you a card.
Most of the time, in the type of decks I like to play, there's a whole bunch of these.
Oh, yeah. I guess we should expedite the process. For a single red instant, target creature gains haste until end of turn. Draw a card.
Yeah, this is what servers think that they have, but they don't when you're working in a restaurant.
I will go back to the chef personally and tell him that you want your lamb to be read a book before it's slaughtered.
Oh, poor old lamb chop.
Yep. Lamb chops across America. Hashtag lambs.
Dead. We're gonna run through them because that's how cantrips work. Fist of Flame. 1 and a red instant. If it's not an instant, I don't know what you're doing. Draw a card. Until the end of turn, target creature gains trample and gets +1/+0 for each card that you've drawn this turn. I've killed somebody with this, and it's cool.
We got Crimson Wisps. A red instant. Target creature becomes red and gains haste.
I'm fast as fuck, boy!
Draw a card.
Okay, some of these are bigger than I thought they'd be. Combustible Gear Hulk. Ain't no cantrip. 4 colorless red first strike 6/6. The hell? Whenever it enters the battlefield, target opponent may have you draw 3 cards.
There it is. There's the cantrip.
If that player doesn't, you mill 3 cards. Then Combustible Gear Hulk deals damage to that player equal to the total mana value of them cards.
This card has killed me repeatedly. I have been on the receiving end of it going and just exploding.
So you're not gambling.
Exactly.
But they are?
Yes, they are. They're betting on 3 lands. They're hoping we don't hit Desolation, Twin, Kiki Jiki, Mirror Breaker, and
Scion of the Ur Dragon.
there we go. What's his name? The giant, he's double Wooburg, protection from everything. Prometheus.
Progenesis.
Protogenesis. Yeah, thank you. That's what you're betting on. You're betting on hitting him.
Don't. How about we don't? Renegade Tactics. Target creature can't block this turn. Sorcery? For red? Aw, this sucks. Who cares if it draws you cards? It's a sorcery. They get to know what's going to happen.
Yep, this is, again, red's not going to give it to you as pretty. You have Balduvian Rage. X and a red instant. Target attacking creature gets +X/+0 until end of turn. Draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep.
Man, this thing sucks.
Red's never going to give it to you like blue hoops. You can't just get card draw.
Red likes to, we were talking about throw stuff in the bin. So this category is called I Didn't Need It Anyway.
I didn't need that.
I need it. 99% of the time, it's lands.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's get through it. The Big Lebowski, the big score. I think we talked about this in a previous episode. At an additional cost to cast the spell, discard a card. Draw 2 cards and create 2 treasures as an instant 3 mana and a red. Beautiful.
Bitter Reunion, colorless and a red enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, you may discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards. You may sacrifice the creatures you control and gain haste.
It'd be really good for that maggot of the wheel.
He'd only be 6 mana.
Pyretic Pia. Wait. How do you say that?
Cathartic.
Cathartic Pie. One colorless and a red for an instant. Choose one. Deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many cards.
You shall see that there is a cathartic reunion.
Chandra.
Hold me. Colorless and a red for sorcery. As an additional cost to cast Cathartic Reunion, discard 2 cards, then draw 3.
Cavalier Flame. More like caviar of flame.
It's funny because they can't afford it.
2 colorless red for an elemental knight. That's a 6/5. 1 in a red. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain haste till end of turn. Whenever it enters the battlefield, discard any number of cards. You draw that many cards.
That is.
Whenever it dies, it deals X damage to each opponent. Each planeswalker they control X is the number of land cards in your graveyard. See, I told you we discarded lantern not to get smacked in the face.
I didn't believe you because I thought it was a conspiracy theory. Because I'm a conspiracy theorist.
Alex Jones.
Turn the freaking mountains gay.
Rainbow-colored mountains.
Yep. I can see it. Alex Jones does not want to play goblins. Colorless and a red for a human shaman. It is him. For a 2/2. Whenever he attacks, you may pay 1. If you do, discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Whenever you discard 1 or more non-land cards, you may exile 1 of them from your graveyard. If you do, you may cast it this turn. Hey, conspiracy guy likes you doing the big score, Bitter Reunion, Cathartic Pyre, Cathartic Reunion, Cavalier Flame.
So the conspiracy theorist, the only one who remembers the goblin lore.
He is. That's why he's crazy.
I remember those days.
I remember everything.
I remember. You know what? It's funny when you discard more than 1 card, he can only get 1 thing back.
He can't save all the lore.
So he can't save all the lore, so he's only got a piece of it. So he's creating a picture of what he thought things were of 1 piece of evidence.
Poor thing.
Duretti, Scrap Savant. Duretti. 3 colors and a red for a planeswalker. Discard up to 2 cards and draw that many cards. I've seen people discard 2 cards and then just like not draw. I don't know what the hell you're doing. -2, sacrifice an artifact if you do. I don't care.
Yep.
We in here for the +2.
He has no other purpose. Fable of the Mirror Breaker.
Oh, you mean Fable of the Destroy Standard and Modern and Pioneer?
This thing is gorgeous. For 2 colorless and a red, create a 2/2 red Goblin Shaman creature token with whenever this creature attacks, create a treasure token. Without me even continuing, I just want a goblin that does that. 2, on your next upkeep of this beautiful saga, you may discard up to 2 cards. If you do, draw that many cards, and then exile this and return it transformed. Long story short, it turns into a thing that can create copies of other things.
So, what they tried to do was fix Kiki Jiki.
Yes. Yes, it is.
And they broke Standard and Pioneer.
This thing is beautiful. It's on the pricier side, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, because it broke 2 formats. Of course it's going to be. Here's another format breaking card. Faithless Looting.
Ooh.
You heathen. Red and a sorcery. Draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. That doesn't sound good. Flashback. 2 red. Do the same thing. You're telling me this broke Modern?
This card is one of the few that lets you see them first, and then you discard. And then the flashbacks just added loveliness.
4 mana. Ran 4 deep.
Hey, it's not horribly inefficient. It's not like it was a faithless salvaging.
Ew.
For a colorless and a red, discard a card, then draw a card with rebound.
They banned Faithless Looting, and then they printed this thinking it was going to replace it. Poo poo.
Yeah, we understand why they were faithless. We had no faith.
Neheb Dreadhorde Champion. He reminds me of last episode. 2 colorless red for legendary creature zombie minotaur warrior. 5/4 trample whenever Neheb Dreadhorde Champion deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker. You may discard any number of cards. If you do, draw that many cards and add that much red mana. Until end of turn, you don't lose this mana as steps and phases end.
Neheb like to smack. He like big smack.
He like to smack that booty.
He do. And he be giving you card advantage for the booty slaps.
Yeah, boy.
Here are some of a couple of these are not so good. We got like Pirates Pillage, 3 colorless and a red sorcery as additional cost to cast, discard. Horrible shame if this gets counterspelled. Draw 2 cards and then create 2 treasure tokens.
Hey man, it's just like the other card we talked about, but sorcery speed.
Yep. Not nearly as quick.
Oh, Quick Smith Genius. He's a smart boy. 2 colorless and a red for 3/2 human artificer. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. If you've ever played with Cheerios, you know this card is broken.
Very, very, very powerful. Another standard card. This one's held near and dear. Thrill of Possibility. Colorless and a red as additional cost. Discard. Draw 2 cards. Instant speed. Sweet and simple.
Tormenting Voice. Oh my goodness. Will you turn that Lizzo off? 1 and a red for sorcery as an additional cost to cast. This spell, discard a card. Draw 2 cards. And probably the best of all of these, Unexpected Windfall. 2 colorless red for an instant. Remember, instant. As an additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card. Draw 2 cards and create 2 treasures.
See, we had mentioned it to the previous episode. Shoutouts to if you are here from there. Red only really gives you mana temporarily. You have to figure out how you want to use it, and the same thing applies to these card draws. You see, the beautiful thing about additional costs is when you copy things, the cost has already been paid, so you don't have to discard again. The downside is if it gets countered, you already discarded it.
But then you copied it.
So at least you're getting it back.
Yeah, these are great cards to storm off with. Let's do, a little bit of 2 for 1ing. $2 for 1.
We got the Rain of Riches.
Rain!
For 3 colorless and a red, you too can have a dragon showered in gold. For an enchantment, when it enters the battlefield, create 2 treasure tokens. Then, whenever you cast each turn that mana from a treasure that was spent to cast, that spell now has Cascade.
Oh, that's why it's called 2 for 1, because you get the Cascade, you cast one thing and you get 2 things.
It's almost like you about to get 2 for the price of 1.
Throes of Chaos. 3 colors and a red for a sorcery, and it has Cascade. And then it's got Retrace. You may cast this card from your graveyard, but discarding a land in addition to paying its other costs. So it's always here to get you something.
Yep. Notice this theme. Red actually does kind of like hurting itself. Kind of like how mono black would. And then Wild Magic Sorcerer.
I hate this fucking card.
3 colorless and a red for an Orc Shaman. Shoutouts to knows how to cast spells but doesn't understand why.
Not know how do.
Exactly. He's powerful at magic. Just don't ask him to teach you. For a 4/3 Orc Shaman. The first spell you cast from exile each turn has Cascade. See, buttoning it all up together, Wild Magic Sorcerer loves all of those exile cards that we were talking about before. And then just like how the conspiracy theorists loved all of your discards, there are ways to build around these to give you some really interesting effects.
Do any of y'all like Satan?
If so,
We got Zerzoth Chaos Rider. I actually played against the guy playing this card, and it was sort of hilarious. 2 colors and a red for a legendary creature Devil. 2/3. Whenever an opponent draws their first card each turn, if it's not their turn, you create a 1/1 red Devil creature token with whenever this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. Whenever 1 or more devils you control attack 1 or more players, you and those players each draw a card, then discard a card at random.
beautiful. If you like chaos and you like table shenanigans, this is a fun mono red commander. I would enjoy this.
You know, this goes right in your wheelie dealy, hey, I just made a devil.
Ooh, and it's each time too. Ooh, that can get nasty fast.
So, you know, we couldn't talk about red without talking about our favorite fire spitter.
Chandra.
Chandra. That's all anybody ever wants to talk about. Chandra.
She's so good though. I love all of her iterations.
We have 8. And there's more Chandras in this.
There are many Chandras.
I'm going to talk about the oldest and probably the worst version of this card. Chandra, because that's how you're supposed to say it. It's not Chandra. It's Chandra.
It's Cihandria.
Cihandria.
Cihandria Ablizi.
Ablize. 4 colors and a red for Planeswalker. They're all going to be Planeswalkers. Enters in with 5. Count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them things. Her +1, discard a card. If a red card is discarded this way, Chandra deals 4 damage to target creature or player. Her -2, each player discards his or her hand, then draws 3 cards. Wow, that's funny. -7, if you ever get there, cast any number of red instant or sorcery cards from your graveyard without paying their mana cost.
In case you aren't picking up what she's putting down, she wants you to discard burn spells, so she'll burn for you to burn the thing that you don't like. Then you wheel her if you don't like them having their hands and you've already blown your hand. Or you save up till she's 7 and you got a lot of those tasty discarded red spells, and then you just blow up the board.
If you really like Chandra Tribal, you should probably skip out on this one. Okay. Chandra, Ciandra, Dressed to Kill.
Colorless.
She hit the whole Met Gala.
Look at that. Look at that outfit. It is beautiful.
I hate this card. One colorless and red. Legendary Planeswalker Chandra enters with 3. Count on 1, 2, 3. 3. Counters her +1. Add red. Chandra Dress to Kill deals 1 damage to up to 1 target player or Planeswalker. She makes a little bit of mana for you.
Beautiful.
Her other +1, because she's got 2.
Right on theme.
Exile the top card of your library. If it's red, you may cast it this turn, and this is why I hate this card. Because I play it in my exile deck, and it's got black.
Yeah. She loves only red.
Yeah, she's only Dressed to Kill for red.
Yep.
And her -7 on her end. Exile the top 5 cards of your library. You may cast red spells from among them this turn. You get an emblem whenever you cast a red spell. This emblem deals X damage to any target where X is the amount of mana spent to cast that spell.
One of my more favorite ultimates. That one is a really good one. I love emblems. Emblems are some of my favorite ones.
People hate emblems.
Yes.
Some people.
Well, because you can't remove them. Once
Yeah.
it's there, it's there.
That's what you get, stupid.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't hit Ciandra.
Ciandra.
Ciandra. Ciandria.
Sierra, this beat is...
B-A-N.
Go ahead, take the next 2.
So this next one is Chandra Fire Artisan. We got a 2 colorless red legendary Planeswalker Chandra coming out with 4 loyalty counters. Whenever 1 or more loyalty counters are removed from Chandra Fire Artisan, she deals that much damage to target opponent or Planeswalker. I don't necessarily like this one because it's a removal, but
Oh, I love it.
the +1 is exile a top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. I'm happy with that aspect. This one only has 2 effects and it has an ultimate. -7, so you got to wait around 3 turns to get out to this. Exile a top 7 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. Beautiful. Very straightforward.
Every time I play this Chandra, I get to ultimate because people are afraid to die.
Yeah, it's the truth.
Are you going to be the person who really takes the damage? You going to take the damage for the team? I don't think so.
I know that she know better.
Like, man, I'm not going to point the 7 damage at you when I ultimate her.
Yes, he is. He may be honorable on the surface, but he's quite the strategic master. Then we got Chandra Flamecaller. 4 colorless red comes out with 4 loyalty counters for legendary Planeswalker Ciandria. For +1, create 2, count them, 2 3/1 red elemental creature tokens with haste. Exile at the beginning of the next end step. Then we got a 0. Discard all the cards in your hand, then draw that many cards +1. I love it. And then the ultimate -X. She deals X damage to each creature. So, and you could almost make her into a really overpriced Anger of the Gods. Blastack.
I'm trying to discard my hand, fool.
That's right. That 0 drop is beautiful because it's like, hey, get rid of them, and then you know what? For your troubles, get you 1 more.
Chandra, Heart of the Fire. 3 colorless, 2 red, 5 loyalty. +1, discard your hand and exile the top 3 cards of your library until the end of turn. You may play cards exiled this way. +1, Chandra deals 2 damage to any target. -9, search your library, graveyard and library for any number of red instants or sorcery cards. Exile them, then shuffle your library. You may cast them this turn. Add 6 red. Somebody's gonna die.
If they don't, what are you doing?
I'm gonna copy something 1 billion times.
Yep. You don't want to give them no hope.
Chandra's Hope Beacon. It's like the Olympics.
It is.
4 colorless red for a 5 loyalty, Chandra. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy it. You may choose new targets for the copy. This ability only triggers once each turn. Thank God, otherwise you would die.
Yeah, that would be way too much.
+2, add 2 mana of any combination of colors. Yay.
Ooh, finally.
+1, exile the top 5 cards to your library until the end of your next turn. You may cast instant or sorcery spells from among those exiled. -X, she deals X damage to each of up to 2 targets.
This is one of my more favored ones. I like Hope's Beacon.
Look, she's broken.
She's the first one who cares about not just red. She also gives you the ability to just copy things, and they don't have to be red. So, like, again, we're getting extra copies, card advantage. This gives everything we want.
So you telling me if, I just had like an empty library and an extra turn spell that, went back into my deck, and I could just take infinite turns.
There are lots of ways to become quickly busted with this. This whole talk about copying makes me think of Calamax.
Fuck Calamax. I hate that horse. He a horse to me.
He a horse, dragon, elder, lizard, monster.
Person.
We got 2 left. I'm gonna take them and split them.
Which one you want?
I'll take the. I'll be defiant.
Okay, I'll be a master. Yeah. Chandra, Pyro Master. If my mouse will land on it, there we go. 2 colorless red for old ass Chandra. Comes in with 4 counters. Doesn't even have a static ability. +1, Chandra deals 1 damage to target player and 1 damage up to 1 target creature that player controls. That creature can't block this turn. No blocking. X for her 0. Exile top card of your library. You may play it this turn.
Gorgeous.
-7, exile the top card of your library, choose an instant or sorcery, exile this way, and copy it 3 times. You may cast the copies without paying their mana cost.
See, there it is.
You can say Chandra's ultimate ability is explosive.
And last but certainly not least, we got the Shichiyandra's Torch of the Defiances. Sorry.
How many loyalty abilities she got? Oh my
She got
goodness.
all of them. Chandra Torch of Defiance, 2 colorless red, coming out with 4 loyalties. For our first +1, exile top card of your library. You may cast that card. If you don't, she deals 2 damage to each opponent. Another +1, add red. And then -3, she deals 4 damage to target creature. And then -7, you get an emblem. Ooh, there it is. Whenever you cast a spell, this emblem deals 5 damage to any target. All of the Chandras, of course, like each other.
You could actually make a Chandra tribal deck, because there's a Chandra that gives loyalty counters to all Chandras.
And there are also tons of cards that just say Chandra on them. Like, she's got dragons, she's got elementals, she's got mages.
Whoa. Sarkon deals with dragons, okay?
You're right.
She is not stepping in his territory.
She do be loving the mages, though. And the wizards.
She likes a specific mage.
Oh, she does.
She loves Nissa. Chandra, Nissa, sitting in a tree, because Nissa likes sitting in trees.
I was going to say Chandra and Nisha burning on a mountain.
BURING.
That's right. Red turn burns. Guys,
Long burn turn.
we try to bring you the best and greatest just so you can have the longest turns possible to make sure that your friends might not be your friends for long.
Because fuck them, that's why.
That's right. So We want to say thank you for turning in to the
Longturnlarry podcast. Bitch.